What were your thoughts on the Democratic debate?
Well, I think the woman moderator didn't get the memo about not to go after Hillary because she did go after Hillary a couple times, so that was good. Um, I think also, of course, the Washington Post said that Hillary won the debate. I personally thought that Bernie came out pretty well in the debate. I think he pointed out differences. Uh, you know, he, pointed out essentially the fact that Hillary is the Wall Street candidate. Let's face it. She uses those statistics very, interestingly to her benefit. But uh, I think I still don't know what Martin O'Malley is trying to do. Why he's doing this. He should be the new Lindsey Graham, to drop out. Um, but no, I thought Bernie did a pretty good job. I thought he was drawing the line not with comparing him to Hillary as much as he was him to Trump, and he's assumptive that Trump's getting the nomination, which may
Well, what's
not.
interesting is yeah, once again, all the mainstream media is just gushing over Hillary. But I checked all the online polls, and everything was overwhelmingly Sanders.
Mm,
So it's either what the people think or just all the Sanders supporters go to online polls and vote for him over and over and over. But I mean, it's like Sanders is like winning 80, 90% on all of these.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
So, and I really thought ABC did a disservice with their commentary because all they did was accuse him of things and gush over Hillary. It was so blatantly one sided. It was sickening to watch. And that Stephanopoulos, as you know, used to work for
he's
Bill
terrible.
Clinton.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
terrible.
it was sickening, is
But
what it
somebody,
was.
I think the moderators on the live part were a little more balanced, but George he was ridiculous. He shouldn't have been on there. It was irresponsible, as you said, for ABC to put him on there because he was so biased towards. And when somebody would start to say something about Bernie, he literally cut him off.
Yeah, no, the fix is definitely in. I mean, now it's the Clinton finally went Tonya Harding
Yeah,
on the Sanders campaign with her henchman, you know, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. It's so blatant now and so out of the closet that the DNC does not want to stop Hillary's coronation. It's mind-boggling.
yeah. And in fact, I thought Bernie did a very good job of addressing that. Wait a second, he had the exact same thing happen to him, and the DNC didn't make a big deal about that. But right before the debate, so it becomes a leading topic of the debate, they have to put it in there.
Yeah,
It's laughable.
it is laughable, and still Hillary does not really answer any of the questions that are given to her, and she especially dodged taking any responsibility in Libya, like never even broached it. I mean, and it appeared that she's already brushed Sanders off and is running against the Republicans now. Like, is
Well,
presenting herself as, well, if you vote for a Republican, this is what you get. Because they figure that, if not this crowbar, maybe it'll be another crowbar to
mhm,
stop it.
yeah. Or it could be the FBI crowbar against Hillary.
Yeah, I mean, but the other question is that I posed to you is, could this backfire? Because Sanders went ahead and raised $1 million after that. And people are fired up, and now people are starting to say, I won't vote. I will vote for Trump over Hillary.
Yeah.
Strange as that sounds. And what's funny is Trump and Sanders align, ironically, on certain issues. Like in the Middle East, Hillary wants to do a two-prong, basically wants to start another quagmire and go after Assad and ISIS simultaneously and put up a no-fly zone, which is basically World War III. And both Trump and Sanders say, no, 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 let's tackle one problem at a time here, you
Yeah.
know. And Clinton
And
really
both,
has no credentials for Middle East management.
and both Trump and Sanders said they wouldn't have gone in and invaded Iraq the second time anyway.
Right. And Trump and Sanders both support single-payer health care.
Mm.
Um, so, and they're both, outsider candidates. So it really feels that DNC has done themselves a big disservice with their Crowbar Act, and they'll probably do another one. And but ultimately, like all these Democratic debates that nobody saw, it's probably not going to change anything of where people stand.
We'll find out when we get to the voting.
Yeah.
Because I was watching one report today where a professor from the University of Virginia was saying that people on surveys, this is a thing we've talked about many times, say something totally different than when they go into a voting booth. And it's, because they don't want to be seen as being different or outliers and so, because they were doing it in the context of, will Trump really last? And he was essentially saying, probably people who say they won't vote for Trump will probably go in there and vote for him when they're in the thing. And it's probably the same thing with Bernie, that they think I should say Hillary, but maybe when I go into the thing, I'm just pulling Bernie's level.
Well, Trump is going up in the polls.
Yeah.
He's continuing to rise in the polls. And on the Hillary side, and it's just so clear with how she's treated by the mainstream media and how Bernie is treated. Mm-hmm. They're probably figuring uninformed voters that just watch network news and CNN and CSNBC, and the people that are going to vote in the primaries aren't watching Fox. So whatever they say on Fox is meaningless.
Yeah.
But all the networks in her court are just bashing Bernie continually and talking her up. So they're probably figuring, okay, they won't know any better, and we'll snow them into getting the vote.
And then you have the Washington Post, taking the outlandish thing, just doing the headline says Hillary won the debate.
Right.
It's just figuring people won't really read the rest of it. And
the Washington Post is another propaganda. It's just straight up propaganda.
Yeah. Well, today their big headline was that Donald Trump is bringing back white supremacy. Really?
And I don't think a lot of people really believe that. And they put it out there because it sells soap. Because let's face it, the mainstream media is not about reporting news, it's about selling soap. And saying crazy things about Donald Trump sells soap. And they're all invested in the Clinton machine so that nothing happens so everything stays status quo. So they can keep their profits selling soap and not shake anything up, and all the millionaire executives, nothing really changes, Mm-hmm. And Hillary clearly represents the military industrial complex of perpetual war. And that also is good for news and sells soap for media. War is news, and war sells soap for the media. So the last thing they want is somebody that's not going to sell soap. And Trump's outrageousness sells soap, and Bernie talking about the actual issues does not sell soap.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, but then again, as you say, a lot of people aren't listening to those media outlets anyway, so.
Right, yeah. And so Trump is sort of a entity unto himself, because the mainstream Republicans, nobody likes him, even the exclamation point. I know he doesn't have that anymore, but came out and
That's your fault. You were the one who made such a big deal out of it that he had to drop it.
He was considering not even supporting Trump if he got the nomination, but then he would be taken off other ballots because they made that pledge where if you don't support the nominee, certain states won't put you on the ballot. So, so that's sort of backfiring on him. But Trump and Sanders, both in their own way, represent getting an outsider and somebody that's not part of the crony politics in
But
Washington, whether they agree with everything they say or not.
yeah, yeah, that's clearly the case, and they're both clearly tapping into the zeitgeist in the country now, if you will. That we've had enough. This isn't working. It's not
Well,
peak.
and getting back to the debate, what's your opinion on this? Because, we've both heard Sanders' shtick many times, and it's starting to come off a little bit as shtick because he always pivots back to it. Now, my question is, maybe he just needs to do that because many people have not heard the shtick yet. They need to hear what he's saying, and or is it just starting to sound like a broken record?
Well, I think you make a good point. A lot of people haven't heard that. And a lot of more people would have had it if they didn't have it on the same weekend they released Star Wars and right before Christmas. That was at least brought up. I saw on the Fox channels they were talking about. Obviously they know what's going on with the DNC and that they did that on purpose.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's clearly obvious that the DNC wants to coronate Hillary. And sadly, all they're doing is alienating progressives, and I think it would be very hard for her to get elected at this point.
I think so too. I think it's only going to get worse. Actually, I think it's not going to get better. The more time she says, "I put a plan on my website," she's into the website thing again.
Well, that's another reason that they're putting so few debates and so hard to watch because they just don't want to expose her to the general public, which sadly means the Democratic message is not sold to the general public.
Which again can backfire for them.
Right. And could backfire in general elections. I mean, but it's still, who knows? I mean, Sanders could pull out the first two states. And you saw that Hillary actually put out an email to her things that said, "We might lose this. Send me money."
I got the email.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, do you think that's true or a false sense of humility on her part?
No, I think she's worried. I think she's been there before, remember.
Right.
She's been there before where she was supposed to be.
I mean, they did go Tonya Harding. They did go full out Tonya Harding on that last thing.
We knew they were going to do it.
Yeah, the crowbar came out.
Jeb is throwing it out on the Republican side, and you got Hillary's people throwing it out on the Democratic side. So I wasn't surprised at all.